video, and this video is going to be about my past relationship. Just a disclaimer, this video isn't to bash the person I was dating. It's just simply my truth. So I wanted to tell my story so that it could help somebody, whether you're going through the situation or you experienced it. I know somebody can relate, so I wanted to tell my story. So, so I met my ex-boyfriend in the summer of 2013 when I was in Atlanta for an internship. And our relationship was like a whirlwind. Like, everything just happened so fast. Like, one day we met, and then the next day we just were inseparable. Like, we spent every day together. It was just crazy, and it just happened so fast. But to me, I was in love, and I fell in love fast. And that was my first real experience with being in love and being in a super serious relationship. Now, I had been in relationships before, but it wasn't on that caliber. So, I think that the relationship starting off that fast was like step one of things going wrong. I don't know. I just think that us going so fast started everything to go wrong. Anyways, I was in Atlanta for the summer of 2013, but I had to go back to school for my senior year, and he went to school in Atlanta, and I went to school in Pennsylvania. So the whole senior school year, I was in a long distance relationship. And at the beginning, everything was cool. Not even cool. Everything seemed like it was perfect. Like, I felt like this was the guy that I was gonna be with, and I was so happy. I was so in love, and it didn't even seem that hard to be doing a long distance thing because we talked every day. We FaceTimed when we could. It was great at the beginning, and then I started seeing some red flags. But me, where I come from, a little bit of my background is my parents have been married for 25 years, and they've been together for 30, 31 years. So I'm used to seeing couples work through whatever they're going through. So I felt that if this is something that I thought was going to be in my future, that I should not overlook the flaws, but be more lenient and work through it, because I really thought that this was going to be it. But ladies, let me tell you, and fellas, if there's red flags, you need to get out as soon as you see them. Because I feel like a lot of times we give people too much, I don't want to say credit, but we do things in a way and treat our significant other like we're married, and we're really not. Like, until you're married, you're single, even if you're in a relationship. So I feel like that was one of my issues. Like, I treated the relationship like I was married, so I sacrificed too much for me just being somebody's girlfriend. And I overlooked so much because I really thought that I was going to marry this guy. And yeah, we were together for about, I would say, 8 months, and we started, talking about getting married, and we had looked at engagement rings and all that stuff. Like, it just happened so fast. So fast forward to, actually not fast forward, right after we looked for the engagement rings, when I went back home, because I went to go see him for spring break, after that, it just seemed like our relationship just went downhill after that. Like, The last month of my senior year in college was the hardest, and it felt like everything was going wrong. My car had broke down. My relationship was in shambles. We were arguing every single day. I was just stressed out, wanting to graduate. I didn't have a job set up. It was just a lot going on. So even though our relationship was super rocky, I still decided to move down to Atlanta to be with him because my mind was set on us being together. And that was my number one priority because I felt like it was something I needed to focus on because we were long distance for so long, and I didn't believe in being long distance for over a year. So I moved down there, and at the beginning, everything was pretty good. We had fun, and then it just changed. Like, a lot of stuff happened, and it just became very unhealthy. I was super, super depressed. I didn't know I was depressed when I was in it, but thinking back on it and like reading some of the things that I wrote during that time, I was super depressed and very stressed out and just confused, and for some reason I felt alone. And it's like, why am I feeling alone when I'm with somebody? It was just strange. It was a lot on my mind. And then I had been down there for probably like 2 months, and things had started to change. He started to change. And guys, I'm gonna let you know, when a female has when their intuition, channels or whatever, be very aware. Like, our intuitions are always right, and you will always get caught doing something that you're not supposed to do. You might not get caught the day that you start doing it. You might get caught 20 years from now, but you're gonna get caught eventually. Because what you do in the dark comes to the light. So, he just started acting very strange. Like, I understand that we're going through some issues and we're trying to work through it, but it was just different. So, long story short, I found out that he was cheating on me. And when I found that out, that probably was the worst day of my life. I can honestly say that. Like, you know how like when somebody knocks the wind out of you? I literally felt like that for 24 hours after I found out. Like, I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't really tell anybody because I felt alone, I felt ashamed, and I felt embarrassed. I introduced, this person to my whole family, to my friends, and then this happens, and I risk, everything and sacrifice to move down to a city that I have no family, not really any friends except for one, and I just felt betrayed. Like, it was just the ultimate betrayal, and I was very hurt because this is a person that I thought that I really was going to marry, that I thought he was going to be the father of my kids. Like, I really thought that. So it was very hurtful. So I ended up going back home to Maryland after that. Did not tell anybody. I might have told 2 people. Didn't even tell my parents what happened because I was just so embarrassed. But I say all this and tell this story to say that once we broke up and that situation happened, I began to like reflect on what I was doing wrong. Because yes, he did something wrong and he has a lot to work on, but it takes 2 to tango, and it's you are not perfect. I know I'm not perfect, and I just try to think about what can I do better the next time I get into a relationship. So I would say what I was doing wrong was acting like I was married and compromising and just doing stuff like I was his wife. Like, I didn't have a ring on my finger, so I shouldn't have been doing that. And guys need to work for that. And I feel like unless you have a ring on your finger, you shouldn't be treating a dude like you're his wife and like he is your husband. What else was I doing wrong? I was doing a whole bunch wrong. I was ignoring red flags because I was in love and I thought that, hey, you know, he's not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect, so I need to accept him for who he is. If they're huge deal breakers, you don't need to stay in that. Yes, that might sound selfish, but sometimes you have to be selfish and do what's best for you. So I definitely ignored some red flags that I should have, you know, not ignored. Sorry if you can hear some noise. We're getting solar panels in my house right now, so if you hear a noise in the background, I apologize. What else was I doing wrong? I don't know. I can't really think of anything else, but this is a big point. I can't believe I almost forgot about this. He was my happiness. And when you allow another person to be your happiness, you're automatically setting yourself up for failure. You know, you hear people say, oh, like he completes me or she completes me. No, that's not how it should be. You should already be a whole person, and the person, your soulmate or whoever this is that you're in love with, they should be an addition to that. They shouldn't be your happiness, because you're giving another person a whole bunch of power over you. And that's so unhealthy. And I feel like that's the number one reason why our relationship failed. Because my everything was put into him, into a person, into man, when we should put our everything into God. Yeah, he controlled my happiness. So if we're in an argument, I'm, you know, upset, sad, stressed out. He just affected my whole mood, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, not saying that you can't be in love with somebody, but they should not control your happiness. They should not be so a part of you that you feel like you're gonna die without them. It shouldn't be anything like that, because you were living before you met them, and you're gonna live after you guys break up. So I would just say, make sure you're keeping that in perspective, that you're not allowing somebody to have that power over you, because it really will mess a relationship up, and it's super unhealthy. What else do I want to say? Oh, I remembered. So I was watching a video the other day by Ashley D Beauty. Shout out to you. She has a video about why she's always single and being content in being single. Now, that's something that I struggle with, because I don't know, I'm just like a relationship type of person. Like, I've never been the type of girl that just dates to date or just entertains people to be entertained. Like, I would rather be in a relationship, a committed relationship, than, you know, go through all that. But through my over a year of being single, I've learned to, you know, be content with being by myself and becoming a better me. And it isn't all about preparing to be a wife. Sometimes it's just preparing to just be a better person. Like, I feel like I've matured so much in the last couple of years, just about working on yourself. And I'm not saying that I don't struggle with, you know, being discontent about being single, because it does get hard. You see people on Instagram all hugged up and their relationship seems so perfect, and you see families on Instagram, you know, that look so cute, and you feel like you want that, and everybody's getting engaged and having babies and getting married and all that stuff. And yes, I do feel, you know, some type of way when I see that. Like, okay, I wanted that and I thought that was going to happen for me, and it's not happening. But you just have to stay focused, and there's a reason why you're single. Like, you can do so much while you're single. You don't have any distractions. You can, you know, get what you need to get done without you know, anything messing with your head. And honestly, relationships are a lot of work. So sometimes you need a break from that. And I know I sometimes think like, oh, you know, it would be nice if I had a boyfriend. But then I think like, that's a lot of work. And I don't know if I'm ready to put in all that effort again. Because the last time I put in 110%, you know, that's what happened. But I also can't live in fear of what happened to me. So I'm learning each and every day to um, just be a better person and to be more trusting, which is very difficult because once your trust is broken, it's very hard for anybody to gain it back. So I don't want to be that girl that's, pushing the right dude away. But it's really hard. Like, it really is difficult. And it just seems like in our society and this generation, it's okay to be cheating. Like, it's funny. Like, you see memes about it. And, like, yeah, I laugh at it sometimes because some of the memes are funny. But I just feel like this generation doesn't take that seriously and doesn't take commitment seriously. So that scares me a little bit. It scares me that cheating and being unfaithful is kind of normalized and it's expected for women to kind of accept it, like, okay, well, he's going to do it because he's a man. But it's like, no, you have to have self-control because women have the same urges and all that stuff. And not saying that women don't cheat, men cheat more, but we have the same urges as men. So it's not acceptable for neither one of us to be unfaithful when we're in a relationship. And what else was I going to say? I also think it's important. Ladies. Now, this is my opinion, but I think that we need to do a better job of respecting ourselves and putting out what we expect from guys from the day that we meet them, like giving them what we expect, and not saying you should go into like, oh, I want you to be my husband the day that you meet somebody, not like that, but requiring a dude to court you, like take you on dates and know, and by taking like a real date that the dude has actually planned out, like not just, oh, you want to go to the movies, oh, what do you want to do? No, we're grown now. Like, figure out something that maybe something you heard me say in conversation. Take me somewhere adventurous. Do something different and show that you really are trying to get to know me. I feel like until we require guys to court us, they're not going to really respect, us as women, because we're out here with our bodies all out on Instagram, and I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. If that's what you want to do, fine by me. It's not my body. But I just feel like we just are lost sometimes. Like, we're very lost. So I just think that we should require guys to court us and just treat ourselves with respect, because if you don't respect yourself, how are you going to expect somebody else to respect you? So that's a big one. And if you're single right now listening to this, Elo from the podcast, she was talking to me a couple of weeks ago, and she was telling me, like, don't get discouraged about being single and things like that. Like, your guy is out there, and maybe you already know them, but you haven't seen them in that light yet. So don't get discouraged, girls and guys that might be listening to this. Your person, your Prince Charming, your queen is out there. Just wait on God. And I know that's easier said than done, because I have my days where I'm like, ugh, I feel like I'm going to be this old woman with 27 dogs, not cats because I'm allergic to them. But sometimes it just feels like it's never going to happen. It feels like I'm never going to find somebody that's faithful to me, somebody that is going to stay. It's a lot that runs, it's a lot going on in this generation. So just keep your head up and it'll happen for you. So yeah, that's my little testimony. I didn't go too much into detail, but I hope this helps someone. And if you're listening to this and want me to do more chit chat videos, please comment below for a topic that you would like me to discuss, and I would definitely do that for you. Well, thanks for watching.